Good evening, everyone. It's time we will start the meeting. Please rise. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Good evening. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Adjustment special meeting for this October 21st, 2024. May we have a roll call, please? Mr. Holland?
Ms. Andrews is absent. Ms. Chevalier?
Here.
Mr. Rizzo?
Here.
Mr. Scogno?
Here.
Mr. Stoner is absent. Ms. Sesaverdi?
Here.
Mr. Victoria is absent. And Mr. Singh is absent. And Chairman Sullivan?
Here. All right, we apologize for those who will be watching at home for starting late. We had some technical difficulties. As a housekeeping matter, I just ask everybody in the room, please shut your phone off or mute it so we don't interrupt the testimony. And just to let you know, this is being broadcast live feed over CATV 15 here in the Township, as well as YouTube Live. If you ever want to watch it, you can look that up on YouTube. Mr. Cheney, I'd ask you to swear in our professionals at this point before we start the application.
Gentlemen, do you solemnly swear to the truth of the testimony for which you are about to provide?
I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Would you state your name on, Mr. Darcy, please?
Rakesh Darji with Environmental Resolutions, Zoning Board Consulting Engineer.
And Dan?
Daniel Hallhan, zoning officer and acting zoning board secretary for tonight.
Okay, thank you, board members, for being here this evening for this special meeting. We only have one application, obviously. It's 42-2024Z. That's Hudson 90 Matawan LP. This is in the OG5 zone. This is block 3234, lot 4.026 and 4.028. The physical location is 90 Matawan Road. It's a commercial sale of diamonds. This is requiring a D variance. The applicant seeks to lease to prospective tenant that purchases and sells diamonds. Salvatore Alfieri, Esquire, representing. Mr. Alfieri, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board.
Green.
Salvatore Alfieri, Cleary, Giacobbe, Alfieri, and Jacobs on behalf of the applicant. First, thank you for coming to this special meeting to hopefully accommodate the applicant. They have some time pressure with their current location and hopefully moving into this new location. As the board chairman indicated, this is 90 Matawan Road. It's on the corner of Matawan Road and Cliffwood Road. It's the large office building right on the corner. The office building is approximately 240,000 square feet. This tenant intends to occupy 5,500 square feet. And yes, it's a commercial diamond business. It's as close to an office use as you can find, but the use itself is not permitted in the zone because it is not solely an office use. The applicant will speak in a moment and discuss the operational aspects of the application so you better understand what we're asking for. No site improvements are being proposed. No changes will take place on the outside. They're only going to fit out, if this is approved, the 5,500 square foot space for this tenant's use. We have two witnesses we intend to call. There is a representative of the owner of the office building here as well, if the board has questions of the owner. Jim Higgins is our planner, who we'll get to later, and Mr. Hassenfeld, who is seated to your right, my left, is the applicant. We're going to ask that you affirm Mr. Hassenfeld before he testifies, please.
Before he swears him in, I just want to advise somebody that I missed something. We have followed the Open Public Meetings Act, and adequate notice was given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting. It's been posted in the municipal complex stating the time, the date, location of this meeting. We've also had a mailing to such announcement to Home News and Tribune and filing a copy of such announcement with the municipal clerk. It's also posted on the municipal website as required by law. I'm sorry to interrupt, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Sir, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear to the truth of the testimony for which you are about to provide?
I affirm.
Thank you, sir. And can you state your full name for the record?
Isaiah Hertz Hassenfeld. I'm known as Hertz Hassenfeld.
No, we're going to have a problem here, so can we get another? Yeah.
Isaiah Hertz Hassenfeld.
Just need two more.
Hertz, and then Hassenfeld is H-A...
Senfeld.
Thank you, sir.
Have him center that microphone, Mr. Alfieri. Thank you. That's perfect, sir.
And Mr. Hassenfeld, what is your relationship to the prospective tenant of this property?
I'm the owner. A relationship to,
The tenant, yeah.
I am the tenant.
And you're the owner of
I'm
the
the owner of
company.
the company.
Can you tell the board the name of the company and generally what the company does?
The name of the company is Hassenfeld Stein Inc. It was started by my father 75 years ago. I'm working in this company 48 years. I joined right after I graduated college, have an MBA from Fordham University. The company buys both rough and polished diamonds. We sell only polished diamonds. We do not sell any retail. We sell to the finest stores in America and Canada. The office that we occupy right now in Manhattan, which we plan to move here to Manawan, is
It's a Matawan mailing address, but the town is Old Bridge. Everyone confuses that, so.
my apologies, I'm sorry. So, I'm learning New Jersey. We do office work, inventory, marketing, receiving, shipping, and we have 2 artisanal polishers as well. We have 2 diamond wheels, which you do some very minor diamond polishing. A bit of a background, a rough diamond loses approximately 50 to 60% of its weight before it is finished to be sold as a polished diamond. All but the final 2% are done in Botswana, in a factory in Botswana. The final 2% on some stones are done here in our factory, which is just final touch-ups. So all the heavy lifting is done in Botswana, Africa. The final touch-ups are done by master cutters here. So there's very little dust, very little cutting. It's just that final touch-up work.
So you, in your statement of operations, you indicated that your hours of operation are 9 to 6, Monday through Friday. Is that correct?
Friday is more like 1 p.m.,
Oh, okay. No weekends.
no weekends.
And then you also indicated you have 12 employees. Can you describe, again, I know you generally described what they were, but what do the 12 employees do if they're all on site at the same time?
Generally, they are all on site at the same time. We have an accountant, he has an assistant, we have a programmer, we have 3 salespeople, we have an inventory manager, we have a marketing person, we have 2 gemologists, one diamond manager who oversees the diamond division, and 2 cutters.
And then how are the sales? First of all, there's no retail. You indicated that earlier. So
There's no retail at
you
all.
don't have customers coming in to buy diamonds from you at your locations.
We have no retail customers, neither in our office nor outside our office. We sell only to wholesale accounts. A wholesale account would come to our office approximately once or twice a month. It's done almost exclusively by internet, by sending images and files over email and electronically. Or we send the diamonds out for approval. There's almost no actual coming and buying diamonds. That's a relic of 2-3 decades ago.
And you were describing to me, at least, how the diamonds are, you have a gemologist on site who can, over the internet, describe how a diamond should be cut or cleaned?
The gemologists examine the diamonds. We have a diamond manager who cuts the diamonds virtually, sitting in our New York office, or it'll be in a New Jersey office, and they're cut in Botswana, Africa. Diamond cutting is a combination of art and science. It used to be mostly art. Now it's like 95% science, 5% art. There is a lot of technology that has been developed over the last 5 years, which will allow us to virtually sit in our office and look into the diamond, plot it, do all the scanning, and do all the cutting. We send the file to Botswana. It's put into a robot machine, some part robot, part humans, but it's cut. Between 95 and 98% of the diamond is cut in Botswana, sometimes even 100%, and then it's sent to New York. The gemologists in New York look at to make sure that it passes every one of the criteria. We deal with a number of the largest and most important jewelry companies in America. Each one has their own very strict criteria, and the gemologists make sure that it matches those criteria. If for some reason it doesn't, we usually can do those touch-ups in our factory in New York. If it needs a lot of work, it gets shipped back to Botswana. Generally, we can do all the touch-up work in New York.
Now, how do you receive deliveries of diamonds, and how are they shipped out?
Normal shipments to all our clients are done in a nondescript FedEx box. We have insurance for that, and our insurance company insists that it's shipped. You cannot tell the difference between a diamond shipment and any other stack of papers. Once or twice a month, we get a shipment from Botswana, which would be several $100,000 or more, and that comes by Brinks. The Brinks truck is not a major truck. It's the same as a FedEx truck, but it's an armored car. It does not need any special facilities. Right now, we live in New York, and it comes to in Manhattan, so obviously they have no special parking there. And over here, it will not be any different than a FedEx delivery, except it's delivered by a delivery man carrying a pistol. And it's, but that's be once or twice a month. We ship normally every day, ship and receive about 10 to 15 packages. They come and go exactly like any other FedEx package by a FedEx delivery man, and they're totally nondescript.
So as part of, assuming this were approved, as part of your business operation here, you would not need any specific parking spaces allotted to your use. It would be simply like every other delivery that's made to the other office.
Exactly. The last thing we want is any special notice. The whole point is to be routine. So we would not have anything out of the ordinary that's done right now. We don't want to draw any attention to ourselves.
Can you describe how security is maintained, assuming this were approved at this location? How do you intend to provide security?
The security was set up by our insurance company. They ran through the plans. They designated which places have to have cameras. We're going to end up with something like 20 cameras, which are recording at all times. We have quite a number of locks, which are remotely controlled. We can allow people in or out. There are several man traps, which means before you come into one door, the previous door has to be locked, so you can't just walk through. There are alarms. All these things are done with direction by our insurance company, which is Lloyd's of London, and they tell us exactly how we want to set up the office. There are several steel doors. I think that we put in just 5 steel doors near the safe, near the openings. By the entrance and egress to the office, there are steel doors. Everything can be opened remotely.
The fire official issued a report on October 15th indicating that they had to install a key box so that the fire official can get access in the event of an emergency. You have no issue complying with it?
I have no issue. Right now, in my New York office, the fire department can enter and exit at will, and we agreed to the same thing over here. We're insured for that.
And then in terms of signage, the building has I guess, a centralized directory in the building itself. Is that correct? And you'll be on that directory like all the other tenants?
We'll be in the directory like any other tenant. It'll say House of Holstein Inc.
And then there'll be a sign on the door internally?
House of Holstein Inc.
Right, but no exterior signage for your use?
Nothing different than any other office.
I believe that is all we had of this witness. Actually, I'm sorry, there was a question in the report issued that some of the parking spaces might be weathered, or the parking lot might be weathered. I know you spoke to the landlord. The landlord is in phases repairing and or replacing the parking lot within the complex. Is that correct?
Not my department. Yeah.
All right, so, well,
I'm in the diamond business. I'm sorry. I'm
okay, we can get to that. That's all we have of the witness, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Mr. Elford. Mr. Dargy?
I don't have any questions for this witness, Chairman.
Mr. Hollihan, you have anything?
I have no question, Chairman.
Start with members on my left if they have any questions.
No, very good. Good presentation.
Cameras on the outside for the tenants. You have any security for them?
I have cameras outside my door. That's intent. Outside the building is not my department.
No, outside the door.
I have a camera seeing every person coming
Yeah,
to my
and
door.
what kind of security you have for your tenants?
No, he's
I'm the tenant.
No, for the other tenants in the other offices.
You talking about his New York office?
No, in this building.
I am just renting.
How many tenants are around this office that you're looking to occupy?
I don't know.
You don't know.
We could,
Probably get the
the landlord's
I
here.
think
landlord.
Landlord is
Yeah,
here, he can answer.
yeah.
I'm just applying for one space.
Okay, we'll ask the landlord that then. Thank you.
Vice Chair? No. Okay. I'm good. You sounded great on the security aspect, so I think that's everybody's concern.
I just got one really quickly, just for clarifying for the record. Can you, the name of the company?
Hassenfeld,
Yep.
Stein.
It's Hasenfeld Stein. Okay. Thank you. Nothing further for me.
Ms. Testaverde?
I had 4 questions, and you answered them in your presentation, so very good.
Thank you.
We could call the landlord up, we'll address,
Why don't we get that out of the way? Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
that'd be good.
happens to be his brother.
Okay. Board Attorney will swear you in, sir.
Raise your right hand, sir. Thank you. I do solemnly swear to the truth of the testimony for which you are about to provide.
I affirm.
Thank you, sir. And can you state your name for the record?
Ephraim Hassenfeld,
Thank you. Can you spell Ephraim for us? Sorry.
EPHRAIM.
Thank you.
And Mr. Hasselfeld, you or your company owns the subject property, is that correct?
Correct.
How long have you owned it?
Just over 10 years.
And do you know how old the building is itself?
22 years, I think.
Okay, and there were a couple questions that were raised. First of all, the tenant mix, approximately how many tenants are in the building?
It's between 15 and 20.
All right, and
big ones, no.
they're medical and general office space primarily?
There's no medical. There's insurance companies, there's law firms, there's computer programmers. Tata has a building office, and there's all kinds of offices.
You heard the question I asked your brother about the maintenance or repair of the parking lot. Can you tell the board what your plan is for, and what your plan has been for that parking lot?
Well, we do big areas at a time. We've done the back, we've done part of the front. I just want to I assume if anybody looked at a survey, you'd probably know the big parking lot in front of 90 Matawan doesn't actually belong to us. That belongs to 90 Matawan. Our parking is behind our building, underneath the building, and to the right to Cliffwood. So the area between our building and Cliffwood is also a huge parking lot. That is a little bit rough, and that's going to be done most likely after the winter. But that is it's almost never used, and that is the next project that's going to be done.
And then in terms of garbage, there's a refuse area for garbage and recycling?
Sure,
And are there any issues with circulation as relates to fire trucks, garbage trucks, or
not
anything?
at all, not at all. I mean, they're actually outside my personal window, and I see them doing it every day. They got these, it's every single day. It works fine. I never had a problem with anything.
Okay, and then you had a specific question that, that's all I have, other than for you to respond. That's fine.
What floor is the office going to be?
Ground floor.
On ground floor. And the people occupying the other offices, who are they, attorneys?
There's a big insurance company as soon as you walk in, and then on the other side, there's Judge Group. Quite honestly, I'm not sure exactly what they do, but it's all general offices. And there's actually, it's laid up. Hassenfeld Stein is going to be pretty much isolated. They're actually behind the elevator machine room, and it's a little bit offset. But in the back, they're adjacent to another office.
I see. And you have cameras in the
We
parking
have
area?
cameras there's cameras all over the building, in the
All over the
hallways.
building.
His,
Okay.
there's a lot of redundancy. His cameras are, well, I don't have any cameras in the space, but the hallway cameras, I have them and he have them. I don't foresee any problems.
Okay, thank you.
That was all you had for the witness, right? Mr. Dargy?
I don't have any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Hollihan?
I have no questions for his witness, Chairman.
Yeah, I did say something in there, but I knew that the tenant wasn't going to handle those matters. But as the owner of the building, those are probably going cyclical, that you're going to do the parking lot in phases and/or
Definitely.
repairs as needed, right?
Correct.
And that's going to be,
Definitely.
that probably will be handled, obviously, in the spring,
Correct.
because it's probably a little too late for paving at this time of the year.
That's correct.
Okay. I'll go to the board members on my left of this witness.
Oh, very good.
Anyone?
I'm good. Thank you.
Vice Chair, no? Ms. Testaverde, Counselor?
Nothing for me. Thank you.
I'd like to call our planner up then, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening. Do you solemnly swear as the truth the testimony for which you are about to provide?
Yes,
Thank you. Can you say your name for the record?
James Higgins, Higgins. I'm a licensed planner in the state. I've been licensed for approximately 45 years. I reside at 14 Tilton Drive, Ocean, New Jersey, where I also have my office. And I have testified before this board on numerous occasions over the past 45
Mr. Higgins, we had
years.
to talk earlier. How long you been doing this?
About 45 years. I've been licensed for 45
Now,
years.
45 years, but you're here tonight subbing.
I'm here tonight, that's right.
How did that happen, sir? Your daughter sent you here.
Actually, yeah, my daughter, well,
Okay.
actually Christine Cafone sent me here. She's
Yes.
another planner.
Yeah.
And she wanted my daughter to come, and my daughter couldn't come, so I came.
All three are familiar to
Yes.
this board. Everyone has heard you testify here
Okay,
over
yes,
the
okay,
years.
thank you.
And certainly,
Yeah.
we accept your expertise.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Jim, we need D-variance relief, even though
That's-
most of this use is office space. Can you
Yes, yeah.
supply to the board the necessary proofs to support the D-variance?
Yeah, sure. The site's in the OG5 zone, and it's generally an office zone, but there are other uses that are permitted in that zone. Besides general offices and medical offices, drinking places are permitted in the zone. I'm not sure, I'm assuming it means bars, but I don't know for sure. I'm not sure what the ordinance intended for drinking places. Veterinarian offices and veterinary hospitals are permitted, daycare is permitted, and there are a number of other uses that are much more intensive than what the applicant is proposing. And because of the specific nature of the use, that a portion of the use is the final finishing of the diamonds and then shipping them out, it's not technically a permitted use in the zone. I think really the crux of the application and the crux of the proofs are really outlined in your reexamination report from 2022. And it talks about, on page 22, paragraph J, with the changing market trends and development needs, the structure of the current general office zones shall be evaluated for alternate non-residential uses. The OG zones were once areas where small, moderate, large office plexes were to be developed due to the ease of access to highways and commuter access points. Few of those zones, however, were ever developed with office use. Basically, what your reexamination report is saying is that we need to relook at the OG zones and the type of uses that are permitted. And the reason for that is the internet, basically, where people are now working from home rather than working in the offices. So the demand for office space has been reduced considerably. And there's really a need to look at alternative types of uses that are compatible with office uses and can exist in the office zones. And this is one such use. It's much less intensive than many of the office uses that are permitted in the zone. You have 12 employees that are going to be on the site. Very few people, a couple times a month, are going to come to visit the site. The deliveries are of the product itself to the site only happen 1 or 2 times a month, and the shipment of the product out basically goes by FedEx. So for all intents and purposes, when you look at the use, it's really an office-type use. It appears to fit in very, very nicely with the other uses on this site. And so when I look at that, I think there's a particular suitability of this site for this use. In addition, I think it does advance a number of the purposes of the municipal land use law, one of which is clearly for the more efficient use of land, because rather than having an empty office space sitting there, it's going to be a space that's going to be occupied with a viable business that, as you've heard, has been in business for 90 years, and it's probably going to be in business for quite some time to come. So I think it advances that purpose of the land use law. It advances the purpose of the land use law with regard to providing appropriate land in an appropriate location for an appropriate use. So I think those two purposes of the land use law are also advanced. And tangentially, It also helps with the free flow of traffic because this use will have much less traffic and much less parking required than many of the other permitted uses in the zone. So when you look at all this, I think definitely there are special reasons for the granting of the variance that's requested, and I don't see any substantial negative impact. I don't think it's contrary to your zone plan. In fact, I think it's really getting out front of the recommendation of your reexamination report in 2022 and being proactive in trying to implement that recommendation. There's no substantial negative impact to surrounding uses as far as traffic in terms of the intensity of the use. And quite frankly, I don't think anybody's going to even know it's there visually. So when I look at all that, I think there are special reasons for the granting of the variance. I don't see any substantial negative impact to the granting of the variance.
Thank you, and that concludes planning testimony, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Higgins. Mr. Dargy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess rather than belabor it, I do agree with the applicant's planner's testimony with regard to the proofs that are required for the use variance. There is a change in climate that we've all sort of seen come in, and there probably is a need to relook at the master plan and the uses that are permitted in this zone. And these are the kind of changes, or these kind of uses that these spaces will naturally evolve to look at, to occupy the spaces that we have that are already constructed. So with that, I don't have anything further. I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Yeah, any of these other ones, Mr. Dargy, when they talk about the bulks, these were all
They were all approved as part of the original approval, so the applicant doesn't need to do anything with those items at this time.
okay. Thank you. That's good for the board to know.
And I do appreciate the property owner's testimony with regard to the site improvements that they're going to be repairing as part of their process, and that's all that we were asking for in our memo is some testimony with regard to what the timing and scheduling is, and I'm satisfied with the answers that the applicant and the property owner are given.
So the memo that was authored on, what's the date on?
October 21st.
That's to your satisfaction?
Yes, I've been ticking off everything, and Mr. Alfieri's done, as usual, an excellent job of leading his witnesses through our letter. So most of the testimony that we requested has already been provided by the witnesses that the applicant has presented.
There's no disagreement between
None at all.
yourself or the applicant?
None at all.
Okay, thank you, sir. Questions on my left of Mr. Higgins?
No?
Mr. Scogno? Vice Chair?
None at all.
No. That's the right. Counselor?
No.
Okay.
That concludes our presentation, Mr. Chair.
All right. I understand that. I'm going to have to go to a public portion as well. I want you to be aware that this is a use variance. There are 3, 4, 5 only here this evening, sir. So that's a decision that, after the public
Correct.
portion, after I open it, that will be up to you and the applicant.
Yes, understood.
Decide whether you want to call for a vote tonight.
Understood.
But obviously, we've taken the bulk of your testimony, and I don't think there's going to be anything further, right? So
No
if
further.
we do meet again, it's going to be probably for a vote, I would assume. Okay. Let me open this up to the public. This matter is 42-2024Z, Hudson 90, Manawan LP. The physical location is 90 Manawan Road. This is for a tenancy and an application for sale of gems. Anyone here in the courtroom wishes to be heard, please raise your hand or stand. Sir? Well, hold on. We have to pick it up on the microphone, so have a seat.
I gotta swear you in,
We
sir.
welcome you. And the board attorney has to put you under oath.
Do you solemnly swear to the truth of the testimony for which you're about to provide?
Yes.
Thank you. And can you say your name for the record?
Mark,
Thank you.
Heck, H-E-C-K.
Mr. Heck,
And can you say your address, please?
500 Cliffwood Avenue, D-9, Matawan.
Thank you.
sir, you want questions or something that
I
you
could-
want to
no,
advise the
my
board?
quick question is basically, it says commercial diamonds. I guess basically they're diamond brokers, is that Is my assumption correct?
I'm not sure the actual
I mean,
terminology, I should say,
That's what I'm
but
saying, but.
I would assume that
like
would-
in layman's terms.
Well, yeah, I think they sell diamonds. They're also responsible for manufacturing, but that happens off-site, so it's a little more than just brokering,
But not much.
and not on-site.
Yeah, yes.
You're still under oath, but you have to come forward because the mic's not going to pick you up under there, back there, I
Next to me,
should
and I'll
say.
hand them this.
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah, we'd prefer you answer the questions than us. Works better. Thank you.
Diamond broker is somebody who works with someone else's diamonds, not his own. A broker. I am not a diamond broker. I can be called a diamond manufacturer or a diamond dealer, but I cannot be called a broker.
Okay.
So you're a diamond dealer.
Diamond dealer is, right, that's correct.
And the other questions that I had were basically about traffic.
Okay.
Because Cliffwood Avenue is becoming very busy, particularly of the glass place development.
Understood. It sounds like, if you recall the testimony, you can't come from the public and go in there. Did I get that right? That's the way I
Correct.
heard that. I think it's only those professionals that may show up once or a couple times a month. So you or I couldn't walk in there.
Yeah, no, so I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And-
Anything else, sir?
No, it's just, for him, this thing was dated September 27th.
I don't know.
Oh, the meeting notice, okay.
I got it October
Yeah,
15th.
I know, it's a little quirk in the law. The law says we have to mail it at least 10 days before the hearing. And so if we mail it on the 10th day, some people don't get it till the day of the hearing, but unfortunately, that's the law.
You're in Mattawan and I'm in Mattawan. It shouldn't take 15 days.
You're
to
right,
do
it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
All right, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else wishes to be heard on this matter? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion. Well, go ahead.
There's something here with walk-ins, customers walk-in, it's on here.
Not allowed.
Estimated number of customers on walk-ins, less than one per day.
Yeah. I don't, what
So
do you-
we
what do
can't
you
walk
read-
in.
What are you reading off of? I'm sorry.
Statement of operations.
Yeah, that's incorrect. There's no walk-ins allowed, period.
No walk-ins
Just
allowed.
the occasional, once or twice a month, correct? And it's not a walk-in customer, it's one of the salespeople, or,
So this is incorrect.
Anyone comes to my appointment,
Okay.
stay here.
Yes. Yeah, you might as well just sit up there. Mr. Darcy, do you think that was misunderstood?
I understood the applicant's testimony.
Yeah, there's a statement, there's a written
Right.
statement of operations submitted earlier, which is inaccurate. That point was inaccurate.
Okay.
But we should make sure it's crystal clear again, so
there are no walk-ins. Everyone comes with an appointment. Nobody can knock on the door and say, I'd like to see some diamonds. Never, zero.
Thank you.
Good, Mr.
don't go
Scott?
anywhere.
Good.
All right, any other questions before Mr. Alfieri has the final word here tonight? I don't know what he's going to do, so. None at this point? Back to you, Mr. Alfieri.
Well, it's always a delicate topic when you have only 5 members. We'd request if the board members have any specific concerns or questions, they tell us now. Otherwise, my client, because of time sensitivity, would request that the board vote tonight because they're losing their location and they need to move quickly.
Okay.
I have a question. Where was the previous location?
Manhattan, he said.
585th Avenue, Manhattan.
Oh, okay, okay.
Is that the Diamond District where?
That's in the Diamond District. My
And it's
lease
your
ran up
brother-
a few months ago, and I'm staying there without a lease, so it's precarious.
No, wonderful. And it's a perfect situation that your brother's the landlord, why not?
And you're moving to New Jersey.
And I'm moving, my personal domicile is coming to New Jersey as well.
Ah, welcome.
Any other, basically, if you have something, let's bring it up now, in which case I would assume you'll wait for more panelists, right?
Correct. Yes.
So we're good? Okay. That's, okay, it's up to you, Senator.
Yes, please.
All right. Counselor, D1 would be first vote, correct? Yep. And the bulks really don't exist, do they?
It's just a D1.
Just the D1?
Yes.
Okay, so this would be D1 for the use in that zone. Anyone wish to move it?
Testaverde.
Is there a second?
Is there?
Mr. Izzo, roll call, please, sir.
Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno,
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde,
Yes.
and Chairman Sullivan.
Yes, welcome to the Township. We're glad you brought your business over here. We're probably more reasonable, and I'm sure you're going to love living here.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. You know what amazes me? That you're all volunteers.
Yes,
That
that's
doesn't
it.
exist in
We're
New
all
York.
volunteers.
Does not exist in New York. So I'm in awe of your service. I really am. And I recognize you for that.
Thank you for the compliment.
His
We appreciate
question was,
that.
why do they meet at night and not during the day? I said, because they have lives.
We
and
have jobs,
this is a
there's gonna be
volunteer.
lives and jobs.
I'm
yeah.
in awe of this. I really am.
All right, well, thank you for that recognition. We appreciate
you.
that.
Very
Best of luck on your
Yeah, good luck.
tenancy.
Good night, everyone.
All right, board members, that does end. I do have to ask if there's any general public comments. There's only one other person in the room. Do you wish to be heard by the board, ma'am? No? Oh, okay, all right.
She thanks you as well.
All right.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm going to close the general public comments as there is no one else here. I want to thank everybody for appearing tonight. I'm sure that helped the applicant, and we can all get out of here early, so. Anything else, Mr. Dargy? We thank you for being here, and we thank you, Mr. Cheney, for counsel. So, next meeting, November 3rd, right, Dan? I believe. First, it's the first, November 7th.
I ain't compared.
It's November 7th, because the 1st is a Friday. So we know November 7th. All right, we thank those for watching at home. I'd ask someone for an adjournment, please.
Testaverde.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.